Guys, welcome to today's video. We're going to be doing a physique assessment and a little bit of an update of where my physique is at. This was taken at the end of my last accumulation phase of my mesocycle, just before deloading, post-workout, so got a bit of a pump. And I'm actually going to be doing a comparison to, I believe, 2 days out from WNBF Worlds, and that was a post-workout, so pumped as well. I think 2 days out, I was sitting around 170 pounds and I'm sitting just above 180 pounds in this new video. So 10 to 15 pounds difference between these, less than 15. But that will give you an idea of where I'm at. And this is 12 weeks post WNBF Worlds as well. So let's get into the little bit of a comparison. And so here we have it, 2 days out of WNBF Worlds versus 12 weeks post-show. Pretty similar kind of setup with lighting, obviously on the right here. And by the way, I know I've got this in slow-mo. It's just so I have it more aligned and so you can really see what's going on. On the right, I'm obviously, I don't know if I'm actually paler, but it does look that way. It's just a brighter light that is on me. So in terms of weight difference, on the left here, 2 days out, I believe I was 100, I actually had a new low that morning, so basically 167 pounds is where I am on the left. Whereas on the right there, my weekly average, and let's say actually my weekly average for the left was 168 pounds. My weekly average on the right is about 183 pounds. So what's that? 3 plus 3, that's 16 pounds actually. I was wrong. I thought it was between 10 to 15 and under 15 pounds. So about 16 pounds difference here. You can definitely see a softer, but also quite a bit bigger, and I think this is an absolute fine amount of condition to be holding and to have lost coming out from show. And just see some areas where I've gained the body fat. Like, people are looking at me and they're thinking, oh, Steve, right now you still have like glute striations, but you look at my glute striations comparatively on the left and they're just far kind of outweigh and are far more impressive than what I have on the right here. Obviously on the right, I am looking a bit washed out, but overall I'm really pleased. And some areas on the left that I thought were like, when you're at your leanest, you can really identify your weak points. And for me, it's very obvious where some of my weak points lie. My weak points are basically generated because of having quite a wide waist and not having sweeping quads. I don't have small quads, they just don't sweep and have a nice aesthetic muscle insertions and muscle bellies in that regard. So my weak points basically are like, I need more delts, I need more upper chest to kind of be a bit thicker up top, and more quad is never going to hurt versus hamstring and glute, which aren't as big a deal on my physique, and obviously arms are a standout. But that's where I'm at the moment, guys. I'm sure some of you will want some specifics in terms of like numbers of calories consumed. So after Worlds, as many of you know, I was in Vegas living it up, and I wasn't monitoring calories all too closely at that period of time. So I can't honestly tell you. But by the time I got home, and actually I did weigh myself during the week after Worlds. So obviously I was 168 pounds on average. That moved up to 172 pounds. So I gained quite a bit of weight, like 4 pounds during that period of time, which was absolutely warranted and also wanted, because my rationale, or rather my methods post-show, is you're not in a healthy state. You need to gain body fat back rapidly to get healthy and in a position where you can be a productive member of society, but also a productive bodybuilder in the gym. Like I mentioned, ultimately driving kind of PRs and performance within the gym is what's going to be driving kind of muscle growth. So the only way to do that is to get into a position where you can perform. And I think most people, this is their lower end settling point. So the body fat where they feel fine still at, like body fat settling point or range, is kind of a range of body fat where you feel comfortable. So some people that might be a bit higher, some people might be a bit lower. And I think probably after an extended period of time dieting and a contest prep, it might mean that you have to get a bit higher to kind of feel comfortable again. But I know that kind of body fat for me, or rather like a look and a body weight that's normally associated with that look, is about 180 pounds. So I knew I needed to gain quite a bit of body weight quite rapidly, and any time spent within that kind of period of time recovering is like no man's land, but you don't want to rush it on too fast because you could end up, like, it's hard to slow down. So you want to go at a pace where you can actually slow down. It's kind of like, I don't know, you take a bend too far, you go too fast, so you can't then take a bend and you kind of just crash. It's like if you go too fast during this phase, you can just crash, but if you go too slow, you're needlessly just taking too long to get to that bend that's into your improvement season. So anyway, I gained 4 pounds that week. The next week I gained 2 pounds. I gained then a pound and a half, pound and a half, pound and a half, half a pound maintained, up a pound, up a pound, up a pound, up a pound and a half. So you can see it's kind of like just, it was initially fast and then it kind of really steadied out. So my calories actually, when I got home from Vegas, were at 3,900. I then began to taper these down to, they was then 3,850, and then it came 3,800, 3,600, 3,400, and then I went back up to 3,600. This was probably because it was a deload diet break, deload kind of period of maintenance. And then I settled at 3,700 for a long time, and I pushed those up to 3,800 just recently. So I've kind of, you're like, why did you come up and down? Because like basically my surplus size was like large, and then I had to taper it down because it was so large at the start, and then I had to taper it down. And then as my body got comfortable and it started upregulating its energy expenditure as it was getting happy and didn't feel like it needed to gain so much weight, like my just body temperature would start coming up, my resting heart rate rose really actually very quickly coming out of contest prep. These things came back up, so my overall kind of calorie burn was rising. So my surplus now isn't increasing. It's just to keep, because my metabolism is increasing, to keep the surplus at a reasonable size, I've needed to have pushed my calories up. And I know in an off season, like, it's not unusual for me to have to push to high 3,000s to above 4,000 when I get to really sticky territory. But I should be around 3,800 to 4,000, should see my body weight really creep up close to like 190 and beyond comfortably. I shouldn't have to go above that. So that's where I'm at the moment. Hope that's somewhat interesting. So hopefully there was some value. You get an understanding of kind of what the recovery process looks like, how you can expect body fat to come on, but why it might be different for different people, things like this. And obviously I'm just excited to be in my off season and progressing again, and ultimately hitting some new PRs and driving new adaptations through training and fueling that through my nutrition, which is what the off season is all about, the improvement season. So if you ever want kind of weekly insights into my improvement season and Pascal's, you've got to be checking out the improvement season podcast leg of the Revive Stronger podcast. But without further ado, guys, hopefully you've got some value from this episode, and I'll talk to you soon in the next one. Do, as always, subscribe, comment, like, hit that notification button, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Take care.